he ain't the leader of the line for Manchester United. It's just not the case. Right, and welcome back to the channel. Stephen Howson. 5 things that we learned watching Southampton against United at Old Trafford last night. And, well, there's all sorts still left cooking on this, wasn't there? The first thing that we've got to talk about is lack of shots. So, United aren't scoring goals. Our goal difference is only 6 in the league. And that highlights how tight it is and how tight the margins are for us. You ain't going to score if you don't have shots. BRUNO was the player with the most shots for United, and that was 2. There was no other player who had more than 1 shot in a red shirt. Weghorst against low blocks isn't the one. Saints had 18 shots to our 10. That's just not going to cut it, is it, at home? Our XG was only 0.804, not even a full goals chance created. It just absolutely wasn't good enough. In the final third, Marcus wasn't quite at the races today. Like I said, BRUNO had a couple of opportunities. Sancho and Antony, both of them had underwhelming performances. Antony completed 15 out of 16 passes. Sancho, 28 out of 30. Now, on the face of things, you go, oh, that's pretty good. Like high 90s sort of pass completion. Don't want it. BRUNO's was like 67. Marcus is like 62. Your forward players are not supposed to be the ones that are holding possession for you. Your forward players are the ones that are meant to take risks, take chances. How many times did they go past someone? How many times did they create a chance for someone? This is what those players are here for. Yes, I would like my centre-halves and maybe my number 6 to have high 90s pass completion, because otherwise they're going to give the ball away in dangerous areas. But if your forward players are having high 90s pass completion, they are not trying hard enough to open up the opposition. And talking of opening up the opposition, Weghorst he got subbed early because of us being down to 10 men. So a little bit unfair on him in that sense. But in 44 minutes, he managed 5 passes and 1 shot. I like the guy, but he ain't the leader of the line for Manchester United. It's just not the case. Number 2, BRUNO in the 8. Now, nice, interesting tactical tweak that we've got there, because United lack somebody in the 8, but we do have players that probably could do a job in the number 10 role where BRUNO is primarily fitted. And I think this is something that shows heavily. Do we move Martinez around? Do we move Casemiro around? We move around players that the gaffer's not sure out. Now, yes, we played Luke Shaw out of position, and I'm pretty sure he's sure on where Luke Shaw plays, and same with Rashford. But he's not moving those 2 players around to get the best out of them. He's moving those 2 around because there's a deficiency somewhere in the team. I'm not sure he's moving BRUNO around because there's a deficiency in the team necessarily. I think he's still trying to work out where he can get the best out of BRUNO. We know what he can do in the 10, largely. We've seen him be fairly effective on the right-hand side. We've seen him be less effective on the left-hand side. Now he's trying him as one of the deep-lying playmakers. And I actually thought he was all right. I thought he looked all right in there. Obviously, and then Casemiro goes off, and now you need to completely fix up the entire game plan, because BRUNO playing deep against 11 men when you've only got 10, when he's alongside Scott McTominay, is one thing, and him doing it alongside Casemiro is an entirely other thing. So it's something I wouldn't mind seeing again, to be honest. I think it started quite well. I think it started quite brightly, and I think that there's more to mine in that particular area. I think United could definitely find more out about who we are and who BRUNO is. But I think he's getting moved around a fair bit because I think Ten Hag still hasn't quite figured out how to get exactly the best out of him. Number 3, and I've obviously no Casemiro now for 4 games, 4 massive games that United, and I'm going to talk about the league table in a second, but United are holding on a little bit inside that top 4. I don't think we're a certainty to finish inside the top 4. And having no Casemiro for some very important games. We've got the FA Cup quarter-final coming up. We've got the Europa League, which he will be available for, but then we've got real tough games, the likes of Everton, and they're going to Brentford. That's going to be games that you've got to go and get 3 points in, and United seem to lack a lot of quality when we have to play any of our second-string players. No Casemiro is going to be a proper problem for United. Massive, massive setback. And was it a red card? Maybe it was harsh. Maybe the decision to go to VAR was a little bit harsh. It wasn't the worst tackle I've ever seen. I think if he points his toe at it, it's probably a yellow card. But He gave the ref a decision. He shouldn't have given the ref a decision, and the ref made his decision, or at least the video ref made his decision. League table. So, Saints are 20th. At home, yes, in the circumstances, you expect United to be putting them away. We didn't create enough chances. We can't really feel hard done to by not creating the chances because players didn't perform. Simple as that. But you've got to be beating the worst team in the league. You've literally got to be beating the worst team in the league. Now, Spurs are only 2 points off us, and Spurs have been shite. I do not want to let Liverpool sneak back into this top 4 at all. I want them to go through the absolute shit in Europa League. It has to happen. They can't be allowed to sneak in. After how good United have been this season, the fact that we could finish 4th or even 5th hurts because we've been better than that. But the lack of goals is really, really costing us. Our goal difference is only 6. It's not enough. It's just by half is not enough. And finally, I don't really do this on 5 things, but I'm going to give a little bit of love to an opposition player. So James Ward-Prowse came to Old Trafford, went close with a free kick, created 4 chances, which is the most on the pitch by anyone. He had 4 interceptions, which was the most on the pitch by anyone. He had the most passes completed, which obviously being the most passes was the most completed by anyone. And he also had the most touches on the pitch. James Ward-Prowse has come to Old Trafford in a relegation, probably favourite team, and just ran the show in midfield. If they go down, and even if they don't go down, Manchester United need to be knocking on his door and going, how much? Because he can do a job. He's an absolute threat from set plays. His corner delivery is good. His free kicks are excellent, like truly top tier free kicks. And United are consistently shit when we get... I don't know why the Old Trafford crowd cheers when we get a corner. Because when was the last time we scored a corner? I'm almost certain the last time we scored a corner was in a new camp on the 26th of May in 1999, right? No way do United threaten from corners anywhere near enough as what we should do with some of the players that we've got in the squad. Simple as that. But yeah, shout out to James Ward-Prowse. I'd be testing Southampton's resolve, getting that lined up because he is a player that could come and sit in there as a number 8, do a little bit of creativity, and also probably fill in as a little bit of a 6 as and when you need to if Casemiro was out injured. But that's what I think. You lot let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.